A description I like is that NLP is an accelerated learning strategy for the detection and utilization of patterns in the world. Now, it's by John Grinder. This is something he said back in the 80s. To understand that particular description, we need to understand, first of all, what a pattern is. Now, a pattern is any sequence that repeats, where if you have the first part of the sequence, you can predict the second part. So, for example, with my pet cat, if she focuses on something, she crouches down, she pulls back on her hind legs, okay, the ears go back, and she wiggles her back end. I can predict, because I've seen that sequence before, that she's about to pounce. So there we are, we've discovered a pattern. Now, what's interesting is that all human behavior, in fact, all behavior, is made up of patterns. So how you eat breakfast, how you make a decision, how you learn something, how you negotiate, how you communicate with your partner, how you parent if you've got children. Everything we do is made up of patterns. So NLP is an accelerated learning strategy, so it's a very fast way, an effective, efficient way of detecting and utilizing patterns in the world. So we take people who are very good at what they do and we build models of how they do what they do. And of course those models are made up of patterns. So a model is a collection of the essential patterns to be able to reproduce the particular skill that was the target for what we call the modeling process. So NLP really came from modeling some geniuses. Originally they were geniuses in the world of psychotherapy. So Richard Banner and John Grinder modeled. Actually, John originally modeled Richard Bandler, who was a wizard doing Gestalt therapy, and was able to then reproduce and get a similar outcome, similar results to Richard in doing Gestalt. Out of that modeling project, they built the first model of NLP. It's called the meta model, and the meta model is a way of gathering high quality information from people by asking questions based on the form of a person's sentence. Now that's quite revolutionary in that most people learn to ask questions, they're really content approaches. And I said, here's the questions you ask in an interview, for example. Whereas in the meta model, the actual question you ask is determined by the actual statement, the actual grammar, the form used by the speaker. So people, in effect, as they speak to you, give you some idea of what questions you need to ask if you want, and this is the key thing, only if you want, higher grade information. So that was the first model of NLP. Now, of course, there are many models inside the world of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. When people do courses in NLP, mainly what people get are models made up of patterns that have already been modeled by NLP modelers or NLP trainers. One of the differences in our work, by the way, is that as part of the graduate certificate in NLP, we teach people how to do NLP modeling. So people will actually have the experience of how to model somebody else's skills and capabilities, and how to build a model from that. And that's one of the key differences in our work.